So, David, inflation definitely was a dominant theme for 2022. We
Yep.
saw prices just skyrocket, interest rise. What did 2023 show us with respect to inflation?
Well, we've seen inflation come down, but it's been stickier than I think a lot of people expected. Um, Most expected that the rising rates, which rose fairly dramatically in a historical context. Now,
Hmm.
the Bank of Canada's rate is around the historical average right now. So the BOC's rate is not out of the ordinary, but the pace in which we got from very, very low to 5% was fast. That has not done the trick yet in terms of bringing inflation down to the benchmark rate that we need. And we're starting to see some change in perspective from the Bank of Canada saying that increasing rates may not be the only tool here
Hmm.
to tame inflation. And of course, this is impacting people across the
Oh,
board,
yes.
whether it be food or fuel or housing, you name it. Um, it feels like every day Canadians are felt more and more suffocated by rising prices in almost every aspect of life.
Oh, yes, yes. It's a common discussion at the grocery. I love grocery shopping, so I'm always there,
Yeah.
and I really love it. And it's a common discussion. You just hear people mutter under their breath, "Wow, that went up again."
Yep.
I'm getting less for more. We have
Shrinkflation.
shrinkflation, right?
Yep.
Yeah. How about the labor strikes? We have a water softener system. I had to buy salt, and
Yep.
they said, "Oh, we just got it in." I said, "Oh, was there a shortage?" They said, "No, there wasn't. There was a strike at the Windsor salt plant, so
Yep.
you couldn't get salt." I said, "Oh, I didn't know." But there were a lot of strikes. There was the port strike this year.
Yep.
Walk us through some of them briefly.
So the big one was the port strike. We also had the St. Lawrence Seaway strike. We had strikes at major grocery stores in Ontario.
Hmm.
We had alcohol workers in Manitoba go on strike. We
People
had
get angry when that happens.
Yes, we had the UAW strikes with the major automotive manufacturers, and right now we have the Quebec Public Sector Union strike. And so that leads into inflation because one can definitely understand the request for better wages in response to higher prices. Right? Those workers have to live in the
Right.
ecosystem and the economy that we all do. They pay for the same things that we do. And so when their wages go less and less each day and buy less and less each day, they obviously demand more money. And so I think 2023 would certainly be classified as the year of labor unrest across the board, whether public or private sector unions.
Okay, we only have a couple minutes left. We're going to hit through these important topics, but very quickly. Foreign interference.
Yep.
Eyes on China, now eyes on India.
Yeah, we really have two fronts. We have China and foreign interference, the targeting of Michael Chong,
Yes.
Aaron O'Toole also
Yes.
disclosing that he was a target. And then we have India. We have very credible evidence now. Unfortunately, it had to be disclosed from the United States and not from our own government, that there quite possibly could have been a coordinated effort to target Sikh independence activists in both Canada and the United States from someone affiliated with the Indian government. And
Wow.
so um, that is something that kind of fell to the side as we
Hmm.
talk about the war, Israel's war with Hamas and some of those other items. But I think that is just, it's still as pressing as it was when the two Michaels were detained.
Absolutely.
It is still as important for us to continue to focus on because we're talking about undermining some of the core principles of democracy or law and order in the
Right.
case of Hardeep Singh Najjar, the activist who was murdered in
In British
BC.
Columbia, yes. C-18 passed. I'm going to go through these quickly. We only
Yep.
have about a minute left. C-18 passed. Internet censorship bill. So things are looking different. You're not sharing links as much on Facebook,
Yes.
and we don't know what Google's going to do, but I think where there might be a hammer coming down soon.
Well, there's an agreement now with Google, so that means that news will still be Googleable and on YouTube, which is
For
good
now.
for now. Meta does not look like they are going to cave, so that looks like it will continue so long as the Online News Act is in place.
Wow, fun for us. Public Order Emergency Commission, the POEC, that's still ongoing, so I'm sure we'll hear more from that in
Yep.
the new year. And then we'll go through this really quickly. Famous Canadians who died in 2023. Gordon Pinsent, one of
Yep.
the great actors from Canada. Hazel McCallion, very big name, mayor of Mississauga. Peter Newman, Gordon Lightfoot, and
Yes.
even the great
An
Bobby,
icon.
the icon, and even the great Bobby Hall.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, all the best to you, David. Thank you for running us down the news, and we'll have to see what 2023 has in store. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.